All right, welcome to our session, the Sales Edge and Business Chat Room, and I want to welcome everyone to to our session here today. And today we're going to be talking about value proposition. All right, and I'm going to make a statement where maybe you agree, maybe you don't agree, and what I'm going to say is your value proposition probably sucks, and I'm going to share 5 ways that you can possibly, maybe, make it a little bit better. Okay. Now, most organizations, their value propositions are horrible and terrible. They mean nothing. It's boring. Uh, the message is complicated, and of course, most probably it sucks. All right, and it's not because of what the company actually offers. It isn't that what they actually offer is not a value. It's because because what most companies say about themselves is is almost identical to what their competitors are also saying, about themselves. So you, maybe a business owner, you're the manager or the sales professional at your company. You're probably saying the exact same thing, that the competitors, the sales rep at your competitors at a different company, you're probably saying something, similar, or you're saying the same thing. And it's really difficult to say something different about your company than what others are saying. Um, for example, let's take the example of we have the best service, right? Now, I want you to think about or imagine an organization in your industry, and we have it everywhere, right? Imagine an organization in your industry that has terrible service, right? Do you think that they're telling their prospects that, hey, you know what, our service is terrible? No, they're not, right? They're, even though we know that their service is terrible, they're also saying we have the best service. So whatever our value proposition is, it cannot be like everyone else's. We must, we must make it stand out. So I'm going to share with you why your value proposition probably sucks, and 5 ways, okay? 5 ways to maybe, maybe just make it better. Okay, number one, uh, stop talking about how you're different because you're probably not. If you come across a prospect and they say, "Hey, what makes you guys different?" Chances are you're going to start, shooting off bullet points of all these different things that your company has told you is different from your competitors. But in the eyes of your prospect, the reality is this: they're seeing a lot. They're seeing a lot of the same thing because more often than not, they've already met or they're going to meet with the competition, right? And the competition, they're saying the same things as well. So telling a prospect how we're different is not going to accomplish anything. So instead, we need to, as professionals, we need to behave differently in the conversation. So the next time a prospect asks you, "Hey, what makes you different?" or "Why should I do business with you?" Instead of all the ways that you're different, or what makes you so great, instead say something like, "Hey, you know what? I really appreciate you asking me that, and quite frankly, at this point of the conversation, I'm not even sure that we should be doing business. I'm not even sure that you should do business with us just yet, and I'm not sure that we'll be different or we have the right solution for you." Okay, so would it be okay if I asked you some questions to find out what's really going on, and then I can tell you how we might be able to solve some of these problems? All right. So the prospect is now going to think or say to themselves, you know what? This person is really different. They're behaving in a way that is completely different from all of the other reps. Now, they might say it, they might think it, they might subconsciously or consciously think it, right? and you're not likely to say anything that is much different, than what your competition has already said or is going to say. But you can behave in a way that is totally different. All right. Number two. I think that was too fast. Number two. Right. Let's get rid of the fancy buzzwords. Do you have do you have words like unique or innovative or game changing or high value in your in your value proposition? If you're using words like that, that's immediately going to cause the prospect to think or take note. Because when a prospect hears a word like unique, and those other buzzwords, that immediately has the opposite impact of actually them saying, oh, you know what? These guys are actually like everyone else. So drop all the fancy buzzwords. Instead, just get to the point. All right. Number three, provide insight into their world. This is where your proposition or the first 20 seconds of the conversation, a value proposition is in the first 20, 30 seconds of the conversation with the prospect. Now, this is where you can be really distinct by instead of focusing on yourself and all the great things about your organization, instead provide insight into their business, their concerns, their challenges, into their world, right? So, for example, right now we're seeing a lot of, this is what you can say, all right? For example, um, right now we're seeing a lot of organizations just like yours dealing with challenge one, challenge two, challenge three, and the challenges that you're seeing them face, is something that you can solve, um, probably and possibly. And now you're providing insight because you're showing them that you know about the challenges that they might possibly be facing. So, and then you bring up the challenges about, where you know that your product or service can help them, can solve the challenges that they're facing. So, providing insight is going to completely flip the script on what they've been seeing, who they've been meeting, what they've been experiencing. Okay. Number four, discuss the challenges that you see in the industry. Now, this is building off of the last idea of providing insight. So, an example: hey, we're seeing a lot of clients in your industry that are dealing with reps that are, just getting beat on price. It's price competition. They're being treated as just another vendor. There's no special relationship. The status is way down. It's like last of the vendors, right? Or are you seeing that a lot of your reps in your sales team, um, are they struggling just to maintain quota? Does this kind of sound like what you are experiencing? Okay, so instead of focusing on us, we're focusing on them and engaging them in a conversation. Okay, number five, close with a question. All right, and so in the last example, the number four, you heard me say how we would start the conversation, and what I did was, I listed off a couple of the challenges, and then lastly, I closed with a question. Does this sound like something what you're experiencing? Okay, and so now I'm opening the conversation in a very low pressure way, and it's going to engage them in conversation. And it's really hard for them not to respond to that. So we're going to ultimately close with a question, for example, like, does this sound like what you're experiencing? And that's how we draw them in. That's how we bring them into the conversation. So it's not really about a value proposition at all. Instead, it's about actually sharing the insight, identifying a couple of key challenges, and then closing with a question. And I've done this for so many years. I've taught professionals, business owners, on how to do this the right way, over the last couple decades. And when you do this, you are going to stand out from your competition. Okay, by using this strategy, you're going to be doing um, the exact opposite of what your prospects expect. And so this is why your value proposition probably sucks, needs to be changed, and use the 5 ways to make it a lot better. I want to thank you for listening to this session, and we do this on a weekly basis, and I deeply appreciate you taking the time to listen or to watch this. And I want to wish everyone success in your business, in your profession, and stay safe, and blessings for all of us. Thank you.